is your yard looking these days? We are with Marlene Simon, a horticulturist at UC Davis. And Marlene, I want to know, how do you have a drought-tolerant yard, but at the same time, a yard that is going to welcome the El Niño that may be coming?
Yeah, may be coming.
Right.
Yes. So it's actually possible to do. So I'm going to give you a few tips on three mainly on how to get your yard ready. So the first one, are we ready for the first one? It is amending your soil. So in the Sacramento Valley, there's a lot of clay soils. If you're in the older parts of Sac, you have a lot of river runoff, so you have really good sediment and great drainage. Well, if you're in the outlying areas, not so much.
Okay.
So at the conservatory, our outdoor beds, we amend with this lava dust. Actually, so it's called lava fines, lava dust.
And what is lava dust?
It's basically the red lava rock, but it's crushed down to a very small, fine particulate matter.
Okay.
And as you amend it to the clay soil, what happens is it creates more airspace, allowing water to drain faster. Well, when there's airspace as well, roots are happier. So you could plant a lot of the drought-tolerant plants that don't want wet feet.
And your next tip for
mulching.
Mulching.
Okay. So when you have the sun hitting exposed soil, especially if it's not amended. If it's amended, you could get away with a little bit more, but still you're going to have evapotranspiration and water's going to come up. So you could mulch with pretty much anything that's going to create a barrier. People use hay.
Okay.
You could use the bagged wood chips.
Okay.
But the idea is to get at least 3 to 6 inches minimum on top of the soil because you need a good barrier, and it's going to keep it moist. And what happens also is when you add mulch, earthworms go up to the top, and earthworms are great at mending soil. So as the earthworms go up, you're going to have better soil closer to the surface. So what I like is actually the wood chips, free wood chips. Okay, they used to be free. Now tree companies are charging, but still, it's worth it.
And now we're talking the actual plants.
Yes.
So what on earth do you put in your yard? I mean, we've had a drought for 4 years, but now there's talk of a possible El Niño. So I'm confused. I have no idea what to do in my yard.
Luckily, you could keep it the same. You don't need to change it. We'd be in big trouble if we had to change our garden season to season, because we're supposed to have a dry summer and a wet winter in California because we're a Mediterranean climate. And there are different Mediterranean climates throughout the world. And so you can do California natives, but some of them, believe it or not, are harder to grow in a California yard than you would think. So I like to plant Mediterranean. One, you get more interest year round. You could plant aloes from South Africa, which is a Mediterranean area, and you will have hummingbirds in January and February when no natives are really in bloom. So plants from Australia, plants from Chile, of course the Mediterranean basin, and of course California. Those are all plants you could choose from if they're Mediterranean. But within that, you do have to watch, certain parameters. In South Africa, of course, there are parts that get colder than Sacramento, or stay warmer, so you don't want to plant something that's going to freeze out. And as far as natives, I just want people to be aware that certain ones, if you don't mound them or amend the soil, they will die on you in the winter. It's the winter standing waters that is more problematic for natives than the dry.